This is a story about a
Boy,
woman.
unlucky. Hi. So yesterday I watched a video called Being Gay Sucks by That Zach, which I'll link down below. And it was maybe the most relatable video I'd ever seen in my entire life. The brief synopsis of the story is Zach liked the boy liked him back, Zach ate his ass, and then the guy went with another guy. So maybe think about my situation from earlier this year that is even more pathetic. And also because like my last video was so like lovey-dovey, like thoughts on love and romance, that I was like, let's talk about my experience with love. You know what, why not? Oh god, okay. I never smoke. Oh my god, this is awful. How do I get an ashtray? How do I put this out? I actually don't know what to do. Okay, I fucking have asthma. That was stupid.
That one didn't count.
Whew, okay, here we go. So this story starts last fall. I'm in a gay soccer league, which to start is what every like person tells me to do. How do you meet people not online is you're supposed to pursue your interests and find a third space. And this gay soccer league is that for me. It's a place I go to every single week. I see kind of the same people. And then because it's a gay soccer league, I'm supposed to see these people week over week, build a connection, and then start dating one of them, right?
Wrong.
So this starts one day in the beginning of September. I get an email that shows me my team for the fall season. And it shows Tristan, your captain, has chosen you for the fall 2024 season. And when I get that email, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. I'd always wanted to get to know Tristan. We were in like, kind of like opposite ends of our like soccer league, but he was always someone I really wanted to get to know. Over the first few weeks, as I'm getting to know him on our soccer team, like, yo, he's actually really cool. I really like him. I'm so glad he chose me for his team, blah, blah, blah. A few weeks in, we have a team bonding night on like a Saturday or something. We usually play soccer on Mondays where we get dinner and go for drinks, like not during game day, so we get to like know each other better and like the team can bond and stuff. So we go and get dinner, and then afterwards we go to like some bar. Then we're sitting at this bar, we're all sitting at a table around, and then Tristan goes, okay, now let's talk about who everyone wants to hook up with in the soccer league. I go and think, and then he pops in my head. I'm like, what the fuck was that? As everyone's going around the table saying their person, I'm freaking the fuck out. It gets to me, I go, and then I say blah, I say this random guy, like named like Muhammad or something, who I also did find attractive. Then afterwards I look at him and I'm like, wait, do I like Tristan? What the fuck? I had never thought of him in like a sexual or crush way before. I'd only really known him for like 3 weeks at that point. But I'd never really thought about him like that, even though the only way to physically describe Tristan is
A person that is so handsome that they're like, hello, and you just go,
So then I'm like, yeah, wait, do I like Tristan? Let's see if he's a good partner. So a little more backstory. Tristan had dated this guy named Jordan for like 12 to 18 months. And it was like October at the time and they'd broken up at the beginning of August. So then I'm drunk at this point and I asked Tristan, hey, Tristan, why'd you guys break up? And he goes, Elliott, I really don't want to. And I'm like, oh, why'd you guys break up? Why'd you guys break up? I'm like pushing it because I'm drunk and don't have tact and don't realize that I'm like really overstepping a boundary. And they'd just broken up like 2 months ago. Obviously that wound is fresh. So I go, why'd you guys break up? Why'd you guys break up? And he's like, Elliott, I really, and he just doesn't say anything. And then 2 seconds later, he's like, okay, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to leave. So then he leaves. And then it's just all of us sitting there in silence. And I go, guys, do you think I heard him? And one of the other teammates goes, yeah, I think you heard him. So then I get on the subway back. I'm having a mental breakdown the entire way back. The next day, I wake up. I have the worst anxiety I've ever had in my entire life. Oh my God. I call my best friend just like a fucking mess. I'm so distraught to the point where I'm like, oh, this isn't fun anymore. Drinking isn't fun anymore. Since that night, I've gotten drunk like 3 times, one of which was my birthday. And one of the other times you'll hear about later in the story. And then Monday's the next day. It's a game we have that day. So then after the game, I say, hey, can we talk for a second? He says, yeah. And I apologize. I say, hey, when I'm drunk, I don't have tact and I don't realize when I'm overstepping a boundary. I should have asked you about your breakup. That was not cool of me. And I completely apologize. And he said, Elliott, you know what? It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. I was like, okay, don't believe him at all. And I'm like, well, it doesn't even matter if I have a crush on him because he fucking hates me now. So then over the rest of October, I'm just like admiring him from afar. But then every single week he starts like checking all these boxes and like, oh, this is really bad. The first like box or sign that I see is that night. I see his phone background and his phone background is welcome. Everything is fine from The Good Place, which is the welcome mat in front of my like family home in California. And I was like, also, The Good Place is something that I think about in relationships. And a relationship I want to emulate is Eleanor and Chidi. Eleanor, first of all, is the most relatable TV show character I've ever seen in my entire life. We have a very similar personality. And then her dating Chidi, who's like a philosophy professor, is like the exact thing that I would want in like a relationship. I would want my boyfriend to explain to me like philosophical concepts while I'm explaining to him the Kardashian-Jenner family tree. So it wasn't even just that it was like the welcome mat in front of my house. Like specifically The Good Place is like so connected to relationships with me. So I was like, wait, what the fuck? So then at the end of the month, he texts me an invite to his birthday and says, hey, I'm having a few people over for my birthday in 2 weeks. Here's a party full invite. Don't publicize it at the game tonight because less than half the people on our team are invited. And I was like, oh my God, he doesn't fucking hate me. What? 2 weeks later, we go to his birthday, and while I'm at his birthday, I meet a lot of his other friends that I'd never met before, and everyone's like pretty cool. And I'm like, wow, this is another green flag, is that all of his friends are equally as cool as him, you know? And then after we leave his house, we end up walking to a bar, and while we're walking to the bar, I go up to him and I'm like, okay, Tristan, if you don't black out or cry, it's not your birthday. And he goes, I can cry in 3 seconds, don't worry. Which is not me at all. It takes like a lot for me to cry. But one, someone who can cry in 3 seconds is like attractive to me. I feel very like emotionless sometimes. So someone who has a more emotional side is much more attractive to me than dating another man who would just be equally as like emotionally pent up as me. 1, 2, someone who can like banter and has like such a witty response to what I just said is like fucking like the hottest thing to me. And then we have our last season game that Monday afterwards. While we're at the bar, Tristan comes up to me and he's like, Elliott, I'm so happy that like we finally became friends this season. And I'm like, yeah, Tristan, I'm trying to be more than friends. Like,
Why won't you me?
So then after that, like later that week, I watched a movie called The Substance. And then while I'm watching it, this screen grab happens at one point in the movie. That was Tristan's photo for the party full. So I'm watching the movie, then that happens. I'm like, wait, what? Oh my God. And then I leave the movie and I'm like, wait, that's so funny that that was his thing. I didn't get that. So I'm like, wait, maybe I should text him that I like finally get the joke. I think that's so funny. But then I'm like, wait, no, I'm too scared to like text him. But then like I sleep on it and the next day I'm like, Elliott, no, if you have a crush on someone, you're supposed to text them, which like, who knew? So I text him being like, wait, bro, I just came out of The Substance. I didn't even realize that was your party full photo. I had no idea what that was. And he goes, OMG, thank you for getting it. Only like 3 people got it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in, guys. I'm in. We're in love. And also, like, side note, that's another box check because that is like such a me thing to make a niche reference that only like 3 other people get. Like half my Instagram captions on my old Instagram were like jokes for like me and one other person. So to me, him doing that is like a big thing. So then it's my birthday 2 weeks later. I tell him, you're the only one I like on our team and you're the only one that I'm inviting to my birthday. So he comes. Leading up to the party, I tell no one anything because it's way too much pressure. And my birthday party goes great. And it's the best birthday I've had in like the past 10 years. Not the highest bar because 5 out of my last 10 birthdays I've cried, so I didn't cry or black out, so it was a success. So then the next day I get birthday brunch with my best friend Dan and I sit him down and I'm like, I have a crush on Tristan, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. And then Dan goes, Elliott, that's the person who talked to you the least last night. I was like, yeah, Dan, I know because I'm fucking so nervous around him. I'm in love with him. I'm going to ask him out at this party that we're going to in February. He's like, okay, great. So Elliott, when are you seeing Tristan in between today, like December 8th and February? And I'm like, I'm not. And he's like, okay, so no. So we concoct this whole plan of me like trying to court Tristan. The plan is just text him more often, hang out with him in group situations, and have at least like 1 to 2 one-on-one hangouts where it goes well. So yeah, a day after that, I text him, I think I lied. Yeah, no, I literally lied. I texted him, oh, I was talking to you about Interstellar on my birthday, right? Because I went to go see like Interstellar in IMAX that week and texted my thoughts afterwards. He seemed to be like in the movie. So I was like, okay, this is like a good thing to start out with. So we start texting about that and then we just kind of start like gradually texting every day and it's all like very natural. He's like responding back and asking questions back and sometimes initiating and always responding back within an hour. And it's like not me forcing things for the first time in my entire life. And I'm like, wait, is this actually like going well? Is this a talking stage? Every single text I'm sending him in these 2 months is in my notes app at least for like 5 minutes beforehand. And I'm like, okay, wait, let's do this. Let's configure this. Okay, wait, is this funnier? Okay, carry the 1, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm just overthinking it as fuck. For example, while we're texting, I find out that he's Jewish, which is great for 2 reasons. Because 1, the first night of Hanukkah last year was Christmas evening. So I texted him on Christmas, Merry Christmas or Happy first night of Hanukkah. I don't know if you're Jewish or Jewish, but if you're the latter, hope you went to the movies, got some Chinese food, and or spun a gimel, which is the best side to get on the dreidel. And he goes, ha ha ha, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too. And I'm like, I'm a fucking comedian. We're in love, right? Part 2, the reason that's great is because, oh my God, now I can make Jewish jokes with him. If we were dating and he like wasn't responding to my text, I could text him like, hey, yo, stop controlling the media and respond to my text. And knowing him, his humor, he would respond back, oh, sorry, I missed this. I was busy at the Space Laser Convention. If you get that, I fuck with you. But I will say, over the 2 months of us texting, I'm like, okay, even though we're texting every day, this isn't that like flirty. How do you flirt? I have no idea how to flirt. What are you supposed to do? Call them handsome? Ugh, that is so not me. So the other way you're supposed to flirt is compliment them, right? So I'm like, okay, let's try it out. Compliment. Aw, thanks, that's so sweet.
Hello? Why won't you me?
So then it's New Year's. I was in California. I fly back to New York City. We're texting basically every day that I was in California. I end up finding out he's going to like this guy's birthday party that I'm not really friends with, but he's also in the soccer league. So I end up crashing it. Not fully crashing. It was under the open invite tab on Partyful, but like he did not know who I was. Like I'm gonna go up to him and I'm like, hey Stuart, how are you? Happy birthday. And he goes, wait, what's your name again? But I go there literally just to talk to Tristan. So we're talking to Tristan. I wasn't gonna do the winter season of soccer, but he says he's doing the winter season. So the second I leave the party, I email like the winter season people, be like, hi, if you guys need a sub for winter season, I'm your girl, I'm there. And they email me back, Elliott, okay, great. Can you sub for the blue team this week? And I'm like, oh, well, the purple team already texted me. So should I sub for the blue team or the purple team? And they're like, okay, great, just sub for the purple team. And I'm like, yes. Also, while I'm at that party, I find out that he's doing improv, which I also do improv. And I do improv because I'm like a narcissist and love being the center of attention. He's doing improv because he has stage fright and is doing it because he wants to face his fears, which is like the hottest thing to me. Someone that would actively go and face their fears and put themselves in a difficult situation. So another box checked. Okay, this is a great one-on-one situation to go on. And they text him, Tristan, do you want to go to an improv show together? And he says, yeah, I'd love to. So we go to the improv show. It's fine. Afterwards say, hey, do you want to grab a drink? And he says, yeah, I can stay for one drink. But while at the drink, I'm just like, literally, my brain turns into silly putty and I'm like, and I just like forget how to have a conversation. I just flop so hard and I have like a mental anxiety breakdown the second I leave. You know what? Okay, that wasn't like perfect, but we can do a redo. So the next day I was like, that was so fun. Do you want to go to like this other improv show in a month? And he says, yeah, that sounds great. And I'm like, okay, great. We're good. Not all hope is lost. So one of the times we are getting drinks after one of the soccer games, one of Tristan's friends comes up to us and says, hey, Tristan, I heard you're dating again. And he goes, wait, what? And like gets all like flustered and stuff. And he goes, wait, who told you what? Their mutual friend or something had told them. But it made me feel really good because one, he was getting flustered in front of me talking about like him dating other people, and two, we've been texting basically every day for like 2 months and he didn't once bring up dating. If he had brought up dating with me and other guys he was talking to and stuff, I know he would have only ever viewed me as a friend, but the fact that he isn't bringing up dating is a green flag and a great sign. So then 2 weeks after that we end up going to the second improv show. At that point I've seen him a few other times in group situations and I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't really feel like he has a crush on me back or that he even knows that I have a crush on him, but at least he's more likely to say yes than he was 2 months ago. You know, it's a consolation prize. So the day of the improv show, I put on my favorite outfit, I get a haircut, I'm looking fly as fuck. When I walked to the barbershop, I told my barber the situation. He was like, I knew something was up. You had a smile on your face today. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. And I'm like, hee 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 hee. So he has to get dinner before the show. And I'm like, great, let's get dinner before the show. So we're at this restaurant. I'm looking fly as fuck. I sit down first. He comes in, I hug him. We sit down. And I go, hey Tristan, how are you? How was your weekend? And he says, I got back with Jordan.
What do you mean to me? No.
So I have been through a lot in my life, and I know God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. The most difficult thing I've had to do, without a doubt, this decade was keep it together at that improv show. Oh my fucking God, that was so bad. Like, imagine just receiving life-ruining information, and information that you're not even allowed to show is life-ruining, because he still doesn't know I have a crush on him. And I can't say it now, when he just got back with his ex-boyfriend. Ugh. Thankfully, not thankfully at all, but thankfully, due to my childhood, I've had many times where I've been screamed at for doing nothing wrong, but you're at an event, so it's basically like, you have 1 second to pull it together. So I know how to like disassociate well. The second he says, I got back with Jordan, I disassociate for the next 3 hours. I have no idea what the fuck happened. The only thing that's playing on a loop in my head is... I black back in 3 hours later and he says, oh, I'm going to a Phineas concert this weekend with Jordan. What are you doing? And I'm like, well, I'm actually gonna go jump off the Brooklyn Bridge in 5 minutes, but you have fun with Phineas. And I texted Dan, Tristan got back with his boyfriend. And he goes back, no. Call me when you're free. So I call him and Dan goes, how you doing? And I just go,
It's not fair. It's not fair that like this is even something that I think anyone has to go through.
no, I'm just kidding. And we're like, Dan, he got with his boyfriend, he got with his boyfriend. I'm fucking sprinting up and down the street. It's fucking 30 degrees and like snowy outside, but I have like all this adrenaline and energy I need to get out because what the fuck do you do in that situation? So basically all Dan has to say is, Elliott, this sucks. It's just a horrible situation. This just sucks. And there's nothing else I can say. So I just take 2 shots and then go to bed because what the fuck? So right now you're probably thinking, wait, that's the end of the story, right? But then you're also like, wait, there's so much time left in this video. No, that's the end of part 1. It gets worse. So now we're on to part 2. Part 2 starts 3 days later. I go to the party that I was gonna ask him out at the entire time. While we're at the party, we talk for like 3 minutes. I'm like, I can't even fucking talk to you. In those 3 minutes, he checks off another box. He's fucking into chess and is like in a chess tournament like the next day. That is like so hot to me, someone who has like analog hobbies. I'm like, you cannot check another box off for me. This is like fucked up at this point. Fuck you. So then the day after the party, Dan calls me back and it's like, you know what, Elliott, not to be toxic, which is how all best sentences start. But like getting back with your ex-boyfriend is inherently on shaky ground. I feel like I forgot to mention, I said Jordan and Tristan dated for like 12 to 18 months or whatever. They broke up in August and then got back together in February, so it was like 6 months breaking up. If it were like less than 3 months, we'd been like, oh, they were on a break. No, they were like fully broken up and then got back together. So I feel like I need to add that context. So Dan goes, not to be toxic, but getting back with your boyfriend is inherently on shaky ground. And you knew he had started dating again 2 weeks before he and Jordan had got back together. So it sounds like he went back into the dating scene, saw that it's the literal trenches, so he went back to what was comfortable. So what I would do is not try and home wreck, obviously, but keep trying building up the relationship relationship over the next like 1 to 2 months, and then if it feels right, say your feelings and see if that like fuck shit up. Okay, yeah, that does make sense, but also that situation was traumatic as fuck, so I'm gonna take at least like a week off. Of course. So then I hang up the phone with him, go to bed, and then I wake up at 7:45, not to my alarm, but to 6 texts from Tristan. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He texts me, hey, wanna go see Opus with me next week? It low-key has not good reviews, but the trailer looks good. Not sure if no horror movies, but LMK. So I read that at 7:45 in the morning, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm simultaneously like,
I can't do this. I can't deal with this. I've been down this road. Just can't go there anymore.
but also I'm like, bro, don't you have a boyfriend you're gonna watch this movie with? And then first of all, he said the movie next week, it's actually coming out in 2 weeks. And second of all, it's not like, oh, Jordan's not free this day, so do you want to go see the movies with me on this specific day? It's like, no, he wants to go to the movies specifically with me. And like, if I had just gotten back with my boyfriend after being broken up with for 6 months, I would want to spend every waking minute with him. Not like literally, but something like a movie I would feel like I would go to with him than like my friend, right? Am I wrong for saying that? So that night I go to my gay friend's houses and I explain the entire situation. Okay, but this is weird, right? The movie thing is weird. And please call me out if I'm being delusional because I want to be wrong. And they're like, no, Elliot, honestly, this is weird. You're not being delusional. And this is like great and the perfect way to build up a relationship even more because this is the first time he's reaching out to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Okay. Over the course of the next 8 days, I start picking up the million pieces my heart had shattered into. So then 8 days later, I'm at my friend's birthday. And then my friend who's not at the birthday starts calling me and texting me saying, yo, pick up, this is important. And I'm like, what is going on? Is this an emergency? What's happening? So then I go outside and my friend calls me and says, are you sitting down? I'm going to tell you something bad. No, but what's going on? Like, you're freaking me out. What's happening? I'm at a party with Jordan right now. And he was talking about how he is so happy that he and Tristan are back together and that they've been hanging out for the past like 2 months.
Which unfortunately brings us to the end of part 2.
So part 3 begins with me walking back into my friend's party and someone comes up to me and is like, hey, is everything okay? And I'm like,
Somebody else. If we don't. What are you crying about? I thought she was joking.
I'm just kidding. Again, because of my childhood trauma, I'm very good at keeping it together under pressure. I even told my friend whose birthday it was the entire situation 2 weeks later, and he was like, well, I literally had no idea. So follow me if you need tips on how to be emotionally constipated. So I hang out for another 90 minutes, like everything's fine and normal, and then I leave. So that night, I have 2 schools of thought. One, it makes me feel better that it's Jordan, his first love. There's no planet where I could have competed with his first love. But the other school of thought is I feel like I just fucking wasted my time for 2 months. Oh my fucking God. How many therapy sessions I talked about with him, how much like I flipped the fuck out over him. God, just so much emotional energy wasted over 2 months where I think I'm building on something and actually nope, he's getting back with his ex the entire time. It's fucking more pathetic than that Zach's because at least the guy, that Zach, like he liked him back at least for a little bit. So yeah, the next day I wake up with a real sense of clarity, which is fuck this dude, I fucking hate him. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I can't have this guy like ruin my life twice, like ruin my life at one of my best friend's birthday parties and put me through the most emotionally difficult situation I've ever been in my entire life. You know, I gotta get away from him. But I still have to go to see Opus with him. I didn't even want to see Opus. I just wanted to hang out with him. So the day of, he texts me, hey, we still on for today? I'm like, yeah, I guess. So we should fucking like go to temple and read the Torah, you know? And he's like, want to get dinner beforehand? I'm like, I'm working late. I never work late. But also tell me where you go because like I'm in love with you in case I get weak and want to spend more time with you. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go here. Also, Jordan's gonna come because it's right next to his office. And I'm like, and then right after he texted that, it's my therapy session like 5 minutes later. So I go into therapy and I'm like, okay, so question of the day. If you had a crush on a guy for 2 months and then the entire 2 months you think you're building up something, he's actually getting back with his ex-boyfriend and then he invites you to get dinner with him and his ex-boyfriend, would you go yes or no? Basically, I'm like, yeah, I want to meet Jordan. All I've ever said to him is hi. Let's go meet the man who like stole my boyfriend from me. Also to size up like my competition that I lost to, you know? But before I even have a chance to do that, like the first thing he says after we sit down is, Elliot, I just got an email that I got in a Cannes. I'm going to the Cannes Film Festival this May. And I'm like,
Is this a prank?
little known fact about me, I lived in France for 2 years, my junior year of high school, my junior year of college. At the end of my junior year of college, I went to the Cannes Film Festival and it was like the most amazing week of my entire life. And the fact that he's like going back is one, that's another box checked. 2, fuck you. Now we're going together. We're going to Paris, Cannes, and Nice. And I'm like, like when I was 16 and I first lived in France the first time, I was like, I always want to come back here and go to like the city of love with my love. Go to a part of France that I've been to before and then go to a part of France I haven't been to before with a boyfriend and show him like the country that means so much to me was such a big part of my formative upbringing. And they're doing exactly that. They're going to Paris and Cannes, which I've been to before, and then Nice, which I've never been to before. And I'm sitting there, barbecue sauce on my titties, and I'm just like,
She's taken enough hits. Jesus Christ. We're just gonna beat the like. Let's put her on a cross.
enough.
Let's
Enough.
put her on a cross.
Enough.
Nail it to a cross and shoot her.
You're done. Yeah.
You know, let's murder her.
Also, this entire dinner was more confirmation that he never knew I had a crush on him because, like, he's not a mean person. Him inviting me to dinner with him and his boyfriend is literal bullying. Like, with gay men, since everyone's the same gender, the lines are much more blurred, so it's not weird for me to go to dinner with him and his boyfriend if I was his platonic friend. But, like, imagine, like, if I were straight and I was a straight woman who had a crush on a guy, and then he got back with his ex-girlfriend, and then he invited me to dinner with him and his girlfriend, all my female friends would be like, are you fucking stupid? But for gay people, it's fine. Being gay sucks. Being gay fucking sucks. Also, back in February when he said he and Jordan had gotten back together, the way he said it, he didn't really think I'd have any sort of reaction to it. My whole thing the entire time was, like, if I'm texting someone for 2 months, obviously I have a crush on them, which is what some of my straight female friends said. But my gay friends were like, no, the lines are more blurred. You have to kind of be more explicit about, oh, I actually like you versus I like you, which is true. And also just like, men don't think. So I can see some men not thinking that far into someone texting you for 2 months. And I'm a stereotypical Gen Z man. I don't know how to flirt. I'm very, like, not touchy. I don't know how to do any of that. So I can see him not, like, picking up on, like, the signs, but also, like, I was not leaving any signs. So then after that dinner, we walk outside. Tristan kisses Jordan, and I have to look away and avert my eyes because, ugh. Up we go see Opus. Opus isn't good. So I'm like, this is a fucking waste of time. At least if Opus was good, that would have been something, you know? So that's the end of part 3. The epilogue is, like, 5 days later. Had the first game of the spring season. When we're at the bar afterwards, it's at, like, this blaring club. Tristan comes up to me and he's like, hey, Elliott, I haven't said hi to you yet. And he, like, hugs me. I don't hug him back because I'm like, I fucking hate you. And then my friend Ben and I are having an A and B conversation. Tristan sees his way out of it, but he's still, like, 6 inches away from us. But because the blaring club, he can't hear me. So Ben's like, Elliott, how are you? How was your winter? And I was like, you know, Ben, it really sucked. I was texting a guy for 2 months and he got back with his ex-boyfriend right before I was gonna ask him out. I'm saying that's 6 inches away from Tristan. I love, like, talking about people right in front of their faces, you know? And Ben's like, oh my God, that really sucks. I'm like, yeah, it does. In May, he goes on the 2-week fucking boyfriend trip that I've always dreamt of going with Jordan. The day after he gets back, he texts me, hey, do you want to go see the Phoenician Scheme with me this weekend? And I'm just like, ugh. People are like, oh my God, that's so crazy and that's so weird. He's just, like, playing with your emotions. I'm like, nah, no, I get, like, the movie, The Phoenician Scheme was a movie that was playing at Cannes that he didn't get to see, so I can see him wanting to see it. And I'm, like, his movie's friend, so it makes sense that he would text me, but still just, like, fucking knife in the chest. I mean, I'm not seeing that, but we ended up seeing a movie called Materialist a few weeks later, which, like, I liked. People said they hated it. I thought it was, like, fun. Not the best movie ever, but, like, I thought it was cute. We get ice cream afterwards, it's cute. 12 days later, this is one of the 3 times I was referencing earlier where I get drunk. We go to this Pride event. My friend had texted me, like, 2 months prior, like, hey, do you want to come to this Pride event with me? I'm gonna invite a few other people from the soccer league. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. When he creates the group chat, Tristan's one of the people in it. I'm just like, oh, fuck. Okay, well, now I, like, can't do Molly now. Like, I have to, like, be chill and just, like, drink. Be chill and drink. So Tristan's like, oh, the venue is like a couple blocks away from my apartment. I'll have to pre-game at my place and then we can go afterwards. I'm like, okay, cool. As I get off the subway to walk to his place the day of, the winds start picking up and they say, Elliott, just as a fair warning, Jordan's at the pregame and he's going to the event with you guys. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. Thanks, winds, for letting me know. So I go, I buzz the door. He opens the door and the first person I see behind Tristan is Jordan. And I'm just like... So then Jordan comes up to me and he's like, hey, Elliott, how are you? How have you been? And I'm like, get the fuck away from me. I have never been more jealous of a human being in my life. Ugh. So then, yeah, the entire night is me drinking more so I can, like, be around them because I can't be around them sober. And they're just, like, being lovey-dovey and, like, kissing. And every single time I have to, like, go like this and fucking avert my eyes. And I'm like, this is literal torture. I didn't ask for any of this. What the actual fuck? The friend that invited me didn't know that I had a crush on him. But I'm just like, why am I getting forced to be in these situations with him and his boyfriend? Oh my God. Here's some live footage from that night.
I'm here with thought he wasn't gonna come. It's very upsetting. I want to fuck so bad, and that's the problem. I'm here with so attracted to him.
And the next day I'm like, okay, I need to take, like, a big step back from him. Even though I had already taken a step back, like, that situation was fully forced against me. But then 2 weeks later, I watched this movie called The Intern with Anne Hathaway and Robert De Niro, which Tristan had said prior, it was one of his top 10 favorite movies of the 21st century. I watched it and I liked it. Definitely not, like, even close to the top 10 movies of the 21st century for me, but I was like, wait, this is actually, like, kind of fun. So I text Tristan and be like, hey, so I just watched The Intern. I know it's one of your top 10 favorite movies of the 21st century. Thoroughly enjoyed, but not even remotely close to the top 10 movies for me. Very curious to hear your thoughts on why you love it so much. IDK, just love it is also a perfectly valid reason. No response. And I'm like, is it weird that I, like, feel good that he ignored me? Because there's a clear difference between him when he was single and him when he was in a relationship. Which I'm like, yeah, when he was single, he texted me back always, like, within an hour. Now I'm gonna text you at your fucking favorite movie. You're not gonna text me back? Like, fuck you. In those, like, 24 hours when I was waiting for his response, I start being toxic and I go on his Instagram. I'd already muted him, but I go on his Instagram to check if he has posted anything or posted a story. He just posted a story. Look at the story. It's Jordan riding a bull and them on a date. And I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Just gonna cut off this dude completely. So yeah, since then I've been on dates, but nothing has clicked. One of the guys was a Trump supporter. One of the guys asked how big my dick was within the first like 5 minutes of the date, so. Gay dating is literally the trenches. Anyway, so that's the story of how Lemony Snicket wrote a series of unfortunate events about my dating life. Oh my god, okay. Anyways, follow me on Strava, Letterboxd, and Instagram. Bye to everyone except for Tristan and to Tristan.